Good. All right, let me see your faces. I don't see one face out there. I want to see some faces, please. Faces on Zoom, por favor, especially while I take roll. I know you're gonna head out on me at some point, but while I take roll, oh, that's great. Appreciate that. Connor, didn't I tell you to straighten out your hair? No, you look great, Connor. Ryan,
Thank
Ryan, you there? Zach, you there? Okay, how about
Yeah.
Matthew Awinaga?
here.
Where are you, Matt? Okay. Matt, you never made it, right? On either of the Saturdays?
No.
Okay, I'm sure you're not. I have a video record. This is a test and you passed it. Because you could have said, oh yeah, I was there. Really, Matt? Because I have video and we didn't see you. Daniel Lewis, Daniel.
Present.
Daniel Delgado. I just saw him. Shit. Is he gonna head here?
Usually shows up on
Yeah, but he was on Zoom.
the- Oh, weird.
Yeah, just let him come to you. Let him come to you. He might just leap on you and bite your face. Just kidding. He would never do that. He would never do that. Hey, easy. That's Evan. He's a good guy. His tail's wagging. Yeah, he texted me. It's Daniel Delgado. Let's see. Maybe he's making his way here to the in-person class. I bet that's what he's doing. Alex Dominguez. Alex? Alex?
Do the dogs. Yeah, I mean, maybe smell the dog. No. Smell the cat.
Okay, no Alex Dominguez. Adier,
I'm here.
where are you? There you are. Dude, I don't think I've ever seen your face.
I have shown a couple of times.
You
In the
did, that's a nice face, man. Is there something wrong with your head that you have the hood on?
Yeah, I recently shaved it and now it's going back.
Your hair too. Ah, dang. If I had that much hair, I would never cover it. Adier. Jesus. Tyler.
Here.
David Gowans.
Here.
Christian Guzman. Zach Higgins.
Here.
Flavio. Evan Kasoy.
Here.
Connor Kelly.
Here.
Paul McKenzie. Matthias Moe.
Here.
Ryan Orozco.
Here.
Gadiel. Brandon.
Right here.
Trent. Michael Silva.
Here.
And Isaac.
Here.
Where's Isaac? Isaac. Okay. All right, cool. If you guys notice somebody come in that you don't see on your split screen right now, give me a holler. Somebody pipe up. Daniel Delgado was here, so I can only think that he was just coming here. Are you on your way to class? Question mark. And Alex? No Alex Dominguez. Jesus? Christian? Flavio? Gadiel? And Trent. All right. So who was here? So on Saturday, this Saturday, this last Saturday, over at the college, we had Lou was there, Alex was there, David Gowans, Flavio, Matthias, Gadiel, Brandon, and Trent. Anybody's name? Anybody was there that I didn't mention your name? No, okay. So I'm sorry you didn't make it. I know you all had your reasons for not being able to make it, and Gail just came in. But it was just a gas. We had a gas. So you know that there's a video up on Canvas. I'll click on it for those of you that haven't seen it yet. I'll click on it and show you that it's there. And if you are in Jim's Wednesday class, which is tomorrow, which means if you're in this class, you're in Jim's Wednesday class. And if you didn't go Saturday to make up Jim's Wednesday class, you need to watch the video and let Jim know you watched it. Okay. So if you didn't go Saturday, if you showed up at City College for that concrete pour, that was your makeup class for last Wednesday, Jim not having a class. If you watch the video, if you didn't make it, watch the video, tell Jim somehow, email or in class tomorrow, that you watched the video. Tell him you watched the video and he will mark you here, okay? I've only got partial attendance. I sent him who showed up there. He'll finish the attendance with whoever tells them if they watched the video. Okay. Any questions about that? Here comes, yes.
I watched all the videos from both Saturdays, but
Okay.
I don't know if I had to let you know for.
Yeah, you need to let me know. Okay, that's a good point. Let's see who just came in. Alex Dominguez just came in. Alex was there. That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so Evan, you watched the video from the first Saturday, which would have been.
I mean, I watched all like from both days, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just got to tell Jim,
Okay.
and he'll mark you there for that Wednesday, because I can only mark you here for that, and that would be for the 26th, right? So Evan Kasoy, the 26th.
Yeah, how was the video from this past Saturday? With the forks. Did Ronnie do a good job on it? Because he was saying he did a good job. I didn't see a good job on it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You did it.
Rodney, I also watched the videos for the first Saturday.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna put till I get myself unconfused here. I'm gonna put Evan for Saturday the 23rd, right? V for video, and Zach Higgins, V for video. Anybody else watch that Saturday the 23rd video, week 9?
Yeah, I also watched the video.
Honor watched it.
Yeah, I watched it as well.
Who else?
Ryan.
Ryan watched it. Ryan Roscoe. V for video. Did Michael Silva, did you watch it?
I haven't yet. I need to.
Okay, just watch it and let me know. And that's the one from the 23rd. So that's week, whatever the hell that was.
Thank you.
We'll go on Canvas. How about you, Isaac? Okay, so you got to do that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, right there. Anybody else out there that didn't tell me? Adier, did you see it yet? Matthew,
What's going on?
have you watched that video from the 2 Saturdays ago from when we formed it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and then I'm marking you here for that day, the 23rd.
All right. Appreciate it.
For sure. That's all you got to do to be here. And if you Jesus, you're not there. Alex Dominguez, did you watch it?
Yeah. I did.
Good. Okay, you're taking care of Matthew Aguinaga.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Okay, so just let me know when you have it, right?
Okay.
Christian, you're not there. Jesus, you're not there. Michael Silva's got to watch it yet, and Isaac's got to watch it, right? Yeah, Isaac's got to watch it. Oh, sorry, guys. 2, 10, 20, 21. 11/2/21. That's actually Tuesday.
No, I mean,
Let's go to a safety meeting. Let's have a safety meeting. Although, before we have a safety meeting, I gotta share some personal anecdotal stuff with you guys. You ready? So this happened to, I guess, if I understand this correctly, about a couple hundred people, a couple hundred homes. I think that's what I remember reading today, my research on it, but a couple hundred homes, 500 homes, anyway, more than my house. All right, so my neighborhood and some other neighborhoods got hit at 8:35 Sunday morning, Halloween morning, 8:35 a.m. And how it showed up for me in our house, how it showed up for us, for Cindy and I, is we were sitting there in our sunroom drinking coffee. And I was sitting at my desk, in my chair, looking at my computer, pushed away from the computer, and she was on the couch drinking coffee, and there was this extremely loud pop. I mean, like that's all I can describe is just pop. It was a sound, and it was almost like a little mini explosion pop, right? Pop, followed by instantaneously where the lights went out, computer screen went out, refrigerator stopped, you could hear the refrigerator compressor stop. I mean, everything went out around us. So I thought, okay, I wonder, that's a weird outage. So I called my neighbor. First thing I did is I called my neighbor to see if their power was on across the street. She said she was on a walk. She didn't know. Call Fritz, her husband. So instead, I couldn't find Fritz's number. So I walked and I looked out my living room window and I saw some lights on in their house. So I figured their lights are on. It's not a power outage. And what I didn't know was that some of our lights and some of our circuits were on. So the next thing I did is I went to the circuit panel and I found some blown circuits. And so I reset those circuits and I went back another time and reset another one. I have two panels. And because something else didn't come on. And then after I reset those things and powered up what had gone off, I realized that our Keurig coffee machine was completely fried. Our surge protector completely fried. Our other surge protector completely fried. Two surge protectors completely fried. Our heater thermostat completely fried. No heater not working. And the sprinkler control, the outdoor sprinkler control completely fried. So 5 items completely fried. That was Sunday. No explanation. Now, I'm sure what happened was that a high voltage surge somehow came across our lines and our neighbors' lines and came into our house, and our circuit breakers did what they were supposed to do. And the surge protectors sacrificed their lives for us. Well, take that. And circuit breakers were thrown. So, but it was really those were the appliances that were on. Thank God it didn't fry my refrigerator, because I was reading on NetSource and Rookie, people's refrigerators got fried, people's electric stovetops got fried, all kinds of different things, expensive things, TVs fried. So 11/2, Flavio, you here?
Yeah. Good job on that first finish, man.
Huh?
Good job on that.
So,
Thank you. Turned out good.
So I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but I couldn't get Edison or anybody from Edison to tell me what happened. They just said, they directed me to the claims form, right? So I spent yesterday, a fair amount of yesterday, being Monday, going around replacing the items that blew up. $512.98 later, out of my pocket, for those 5 items were replaced. And then today I had an HVAC guy there to redo the thermostat. That's probably going to cost me 120 at least for that work. So, I'm going to be out of pocket $640 for this little thing. How is this ever my fault, right? How did I cause it? It's like I'm just sitting there enjoying coffee. By the way, my wife's coffee went straight up in the air. And we spent the first 5 minutes just cleaning up the coffee. And then we started, trying to we were getting on a shock, but so I replaced all those things. And last night, all the way until last night, I was, on my back, up underneath my desk, putting surge protectors, new surge protectors in and all this stuff that I replaced. And then today, while getting the HVAC guy there and dealing with, and then Luke came over and helped me put in my thermostat, I started to online claim for Edison. And hindsight being 2020, that it is, I see in retrospect that there's no way I ever, what was I thinking of to start this claim online? Because now that I know how their thing works, and here's how their thing works. Your session's timed out. All your stuff is gone. Everything's gone. Your session timed out. There is nothing you can do about it. If you get up to go to the bathroom, whatever. It's like if it decides your 5 minutes are up or 10 minutes are up or whatever. And it did that to me 4 times. Yeah. So 4 separate times I had to write what happened, and I had to fill in the whole damn thing. Finally I had distilled what happened in about 1 sentence, 1 paragraph. Yeah, surge came through, blew out 5 machines. And then I couldn't get past this 1 screen. I couldn't get past it. So I had to dump that thing and then start all over again. And I got all the way to the very end, including downloading the documents, the copies of the invoices, the stuff I replaced. And scrambling to get back to the site and change a letter so it would know I was on the site and not time me out, and then get back to scanning stuff, with the computer. And then I go to attach it, to upload it to them. Oh no, it can't be a PDF.
Yeah.
So that's it. What am I thinking of? What am I thinking of? It's like right then, it's kind of like it was an aha moment. The light bulb went on. It's like, why am I messing with this? When all I've got to do is go to their not online, but email, click on the PDF form, a fill outable form, and I can save, and I can come back to, and I can do whatever I want to with it, which I just did, print it out. So I'm going to snail mail this stuff. I'm going to send copies of my invoices, which I already have, with this form filled out. Still, nobody can tell me what happened, and I just hope I'll be reimbursed. So that was interesting, wasn't it?
Really intentionally make it as difficult as possible to submit those forms so they can save
I
money.
suspect so, because I'm telling you, it got me to a place where it had a red thing came up and it said you can't use any special characters, right? No asterisks, no special characters. And so I went through my verbiage and I even took out periods and commas, and it still wouldn't go away, and it wouldn't let me submit it and then I wiped out the whole paragraph. So now it was no verbiage, and it wouldn't let me submit it. And I wiped out the whole paragraph and just put in a sentence, and it wouldn't let me submit it. So yeah, I think it's either planned that way or just extremely bad luck.
I'm sure a lot of people just give up.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people do
Deal
just
with-
give up. I agree.
I wouldn't cross your fingers on them getting back to you after the snail mail reaches out.
Oh, no, they pay.
Yeah.
I had filled out a claim several years ago. Some stuff got fried. I forget what happened, but they paid. They do pay, and they don't mess around. I mean, they'll, they don't, they're not Johnny on spot payers, but believe me. Oh, and you can also rest assured, I'll get paid. Would you mind, please? Turning off the lights, or maybe just turn off half. We'll see how that goes. Evan, please. All right, let's get a safety meeting done here. Let's have a tailgate safety meeting, which, as I have said before, and I will reiterate, if you're working on a bona fide job for a bona fide contractor, and he's got insurance, and he's not a bona fide and licensed California contractor if he doesn't have insurance, liability and workers' comp, but especially workers' compensation insurance. And if he's got workers' compensation insurance in force to conform to his policy, every 10 working days, he has to have a tailgate safety meeting with all of his employees. That doesn't mean that they all have to get together at once, but every one of his employees, every 10 days, minimum, has to have a tailgate safety meeting. So you should be looking out for these tailgate safety meetings. So you're always thinking about safety. People you're working for are stressing safety. Safety is, not enough can be said about safety. So this is about types of ladders. Types of ladders. How do I get this going? Okay, I'll read the introduction. So they get a little bit bigger. Okay, the very first thing employees must decide before actually using a ladder is which type of ladder will work the best for the job at hand. Understanding the different types of ladders and their functions will allow you to make an informed decision, and you will then be able to complete your task more efficiently and safely. Matthias,
Yeah.
would you read, please?
First thing employees must
No,
decide.
step stools. I just read that. Thanks.
A ladder type step stool is a self-supporting portable ladder that is non-adjustable.
What?
Stop or step stools come in different sizes, duty ratings, and materials.
Okay, Alex.
Step ladders are the most commonly used. Step ladders are self-supportable, meaning they do not need to be leaned against any type of support to be used. There are two types of varieties of step ladders. One slide step ladder.
One-sided.
One-sided step ladder.
Very good. Next, let's just go around there. Gadio.
Oh, shit.
You all right? Somebody fall?
I don't know.
Oh,
Platform ladder is a step ladder with the top step being a platform. This type of ladder provides a comfortable work area. Platform. Some platform leaders are equipped with guardrails and handrails.
I'm sorry, I got lost. Keep going. I don't keep going, but just move it around paragraph by
Single
student.
ladders are non-self-supporting ladders which require to be leaned against a wall or other support. Single ladders are a one-section, non-extending ladder. Extension ladders. Extension ladders are also non-self-supporting ladders, adjustable in length, consisting of 2 or more sections. Extension ladders are the most popular of longer ladders. They are designed to handle a wide range of tasks at varying heights.
All right, next in line, David.
Telescoping ladder. A telescoping ladder is simply a ladder that is able to slide in and out to adjust in size and does so by use of overlapping sections. Can't see it.
Oh, shit, sorry. Wait.
Almost any type of ladder can be telescoping, such as
Oh,
step
yeah.
ladders, extension ladders, folding ladders, or multi-purpose.
And Lou.
Multi-purpose folding ladders. A ladder that is able to accomplish the task of 2 or more of the other types of ladders can be considered a multi-purpose ladder. These ladders get their name from their ability to fold up when not in use for extremely easy storage. Many folding ladders are capable of holding 250 to 300 pounds or more.
All right, Evan.
Safe work practices. When selecting the right ladder for the job, employees should use the following safe work practices before use. Do not use a ladder until properly trained. Consider environmental and job operation factors before selecting a ladder. Select the ladder that is proper length for the job. Inspect the ladder prior to selection and use. If ladder appears to be in poor condition, type/label damage and do not use. Read and follow all labels and markings on the ladder. Do not remove safety decals from ladders. Do not exceed the maximum load rating of ladder. Do not use metal ladders near electrical exposure. Only use ladders for the purpose for which they are designed, which includes ladder accessories such as levelers, jacks, or hooks.
And in conclusion, there are many types of ladders for a variety of jobs. Understand the different types of ladders and their functions will allow employees to make an informed decision to complete their tasks safely. So any comments or questions about ladders?
What's your view on the multi-purpose ladder?
I love those ladders, man. Yeah, yeah. So the thing about them is that if you're Joe homeowner, you need a multi-purpose ladder. And a multi-purpose ladder will do you for, well, just speaking from my own experience, my multi-purpose ladder has served me in more ways than I can count. And it served me as an extension and as a lean ladder, as a short leaning ladder, and as a fully extended leaning ladder. And everything in between. It's heavy. You know, it's heavy. The newer ones, I've noticed have wheels so that you can dolly wheel them. And they're lighter, a little bit lighter. ¿Qué es esto, amigo?
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
I
Watch
watched
your
the
phone.
videos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you were there.
I know. It was good. I did work by, but,
You did, man.
oh, man.
You worked your butt off. You were the main worker, and there were a bunch of the people that were on the other.
Where's Flav?
Yeah, Flavio.
I
Flavio.
couldn't
was-
have done it without him. He
Yeah,
was,
Flavio was our main.
Everybody,
man.
everybody,
Yeah,
I
It's true.
mean-
Everybody really.
I mean, shoveling the concrete, that was, everybody did, pulled their weight on that one. So it was great. And David did all the edging and stayed right on my tail there, shoveling on the concrete. It was-
Yeah, no, it was a great team effort.
Good
And
team
really, as
effort.
dumb as it felt, kind of,
The
especially.
builder was awesome. He got me in there a lot, so just.
Is kind of dumb as it was to not pump that. I'm glad we didn't, because
No,
everybody
it
got
was
a
a good
sense of,
experience.
yeah,
It was a
of
good
what it
experience.
takes to wheelbarrow that concrete, and it can be wheelbarrowed, and you know, there may be a lot of instances or some instances that can't get a pump, but that pour, I'm gonna insist that if you do that pour or something like it, pump it.
Oh,
In a
yeah,
heartbeat,
yeah.
in a heartbeat. But because we had the people and we also had the EH
When you have that many
105 class,
people, you can wheelbarrow it. In fact, we did the tiny house over here, the permanent tiny house, when we did the extension on the footings on that, we mixed it all in bags with the concrete
with that
mixer.
mixer, 3 bags at a whack.
Yeah, 3 or 4 bags at a whack, and then we wheelbarrowed it, and, you know, the class did that too, so you can do it.
Yeah, you can. Well, we proved that, didn't we? Pretty beyond
It
a
was
shadow of a
awesome.
doubt.
So you guys did awesome.
Yeah,
Great.
really. I could agree more, but what good would it do me?
Oh, you could agree. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you, Jim. Yeah. And Jim, I'm telling them that they need to watch the video of the Saturday pour as a makeup class for last Wednesday, and to just tell you, and you'll mark them here.
Yes.
So I'm doing the same for my guys that couldn't be there Saturday. Just tell me they watched the
Yeah,
video.
Rodney took home on Saturday, so I have that. So,
Yeah.
if you were not there Saturday, you need to watch the video and let me know.
Just let them know that text, or let them know tomorrow night. Watch it before tomorrow night. Later. So, yeah, to finish answering your question, if I could have one ladder, it would be that one. As a contractor, as somebody doing it professionally, then ladders are a big part of the job. If you're a contractor, ladders are a big part of the job. If you're a finished carpenter, ladders are a big part of the job. Bigger part of the job if you're a contractor, a lesser part of the job if you're a finished guy, but definitely part of the job. Not just ladders, but stages and rolling stages. What I mean by that is scaffolding and rolling scaffolding or work platforms. But ladders, so as a professional, I want some 6-footers, some 8-footers, some 10-footers, 12-footer. I want 20 and 24 extensions. I want 4-footers. I want stools, step stools. Werner makes a new 4-foot ladder. It's for corners, for outside and inside corners. It's a corner ladder. Check it out. Maybe. Let's see. Anybody out there in Zoom land ever hear of a corner ladder?
Sorry, what was that?
Have you heard of a corner ladder?
No.
So Werner makes these lean safe. They make an 8-foot. I like their little 4-foot. Let's just go to Werner. Werner. Hey, that ain't the one. Okay, ladders, step ladders, extension ladders. See what they got for step ladders. Maybe it's not a Werner.
There's one,
You see it?
the tripod one.
No.
No?
No, that's a tripod. This is specifically it's this corner. No, it's got something really different. I think we'll find it. Because I could put it in the search, right? Yeah. But let's not. Let's just look at the ladders. Since we're on ladders, and because ladders are really important. And here's a couple other things about ladders. When you're buying a ladder, price is going to be a consideration. So buy a green one if you have to. That's the cheapest. Well, backing up. Don't buy a wood ladder and don't buy an aluminum ladder. Don't buy a wood ladder and don't buy a aluminum ladder. If you're Joe homeowner, okay, use a wooden ladder if you got one. Use an aluminum ladder if you've got one. But they're not as well made. Ladders have got to be, they've got to hold together. If your ladders have broken rungs or anything wrong with them, don't use them. Ladders are supposed to get you to heights, to work at heights safely. And if the ladder is not safe, junk it, because a fall from a ladder is catastrophic, is potentially catastrophic. I had a foreman who made good money until he didn't, because workers' comp didn't do that much for him. And what's the disability? He fell off a 6-foot ladder and landed on his shoulder, and he couldn't lift his arm above here, and he had to have rotator cuff surgery. He was out for like almost a year. That whole, he was working in a carport, and he fell off a 6-foot ladder, and he didn't engage the ladder correctly, the 4 feet. He was up on a piece of dirt on this one, and he fell over. So the green ones are the least expensive. The blue ones are a little bit heavier, a little more expensive. The orange ones are the most expensive, and the yellow ones are the top of the line. The yellow ones are usually thicker fiberglass, and you can walk on both sides of them. So it's doubtful you'll need a yellow ladder, but try to go with the orange fiberglass. They're really good ones. Yeah, Betty.
Why don't you like the aluminum?
They will electrocute you. You get them anywhere near power. They're basically flimsy compared to fiberglass. And that's why I don't like them. They're great, and they're great for because they're cheaper. For painters, use them a lot because they're light. They're a lot easier to move around. Wait, you are a painter. So you see a lot of painters with aluminum ladders because they need a ton of ladders.
Yeah.
They're less expensive than a bunch of fiberglass ladders, and they're a lot lighter and easier to store. But as a contractor and a carpenter and somebody that's done a lot of work on ladders, not just putting on paint, but being up there a while, installing windows and doing all the stuff you can do on ladders, you want to be comfortable and safe on the ladder.
About the foldable one.
The multipurpose?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Those are the multipurpose, and those are, I think, the absolute best.
Do they make fiberglass multi-purpose?
Do they make what now?
Fiberglass multi-purpose ladders?
I don't think so.
No, just aluminum.
Pretty sure they're just aluminum. Now this tripod ladder, is this the one? No, that ain't the one.
Is the color thing standard across all ladder companies or just this one?
Pretty much. pretty much all across. No, okay, so is this it? I think this is it. Yes. See that?
Oh, I have.
So I bought, well, for this friend of mine wanted to do a job with me, with me anyway. He really liked it, and so I gave him the ladder. And it works well on inside corners. So it's got, if you look at that, it fits into an inside corner, inside 45, and it also has got that notch, fits on an outside corner. And it's got the legs are they're offset. See that? They don't go up there. They don't start up there. They start down there. So that allows you to get it. And then anyway, it's a cool ladder. I thought so. So yeah, I'll fiberglass and just take good care of your ladders. And really, you could buy a ladder and keep it for your whole life if you take care of it. You can buy a ladder and have it for a couple of years and trash it. If you leave it outside, you don't take care of it, you know, take care of your stuff. And ladders are, it's kind of a drag because, you know, you don't need them all the time, but you want to have access to them. So you gotta have a place to stow them. Take good care of your ladders and get good ladders. Like, okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get it out of there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. So just to be clear, we had a lab on 10/19. We were all here. That was a Tuesday. And then on 10/23, we had 10/26's lab. See there? 10/26 in parentheses. And 10/23 at the school, when we were all there. Can't go? Yeah, just next to it. Yeah, like that. Okay. Okay. Let's try that. Okay, we were all there doing that. Well, not all of us. On 10/23. And that took the place of 10/26 lab. For those of you that didn't make it, you need to watch that video of week 10. Okay. And then tell me. And not everyone has told me yet. I just went through that. Some of you still got to watch that video. You couldn't make it on that Saturday. And then Jim's lab the very next week, or the very next Wednesday after that Saturday, he didn't make it to. That was last Wednesday. So you guys didn't make it to, except for Matthias. He made it briefly. Like called me up. And then, so to make up for that lab, you showed up for Saturday's pour. And some of you did, and that you got credit for Jim's Wednesday night class. And those of you couldn't make it, all you got to do is look at the video. Right? Wait, did I get ahead of myself? I did. So for me, if you couldn't make it on that Saturday, you need to tell me. And then you're good for that lab. And I'll ask you, if I don't have a check after your name, either that you told me you saw the video or that you showed up on that Saturday, that first Saturday, the 23rd, I will ask you for it. Okay. And then the following Saturday, that was Jim's makeup lab, and that's what we're talking about. And that is this one. That's week 10. So those 15 videos, 15. So I haven't had a chance to figure it out yet, but I will figure it out. I don't know why, but when I take a video, as long as that video was 3 hours and some odd, and then put the SD, put it in a reader, put the reader in the computer, it comes up and breaks up that into 15 MVI 1, MVI 2, MVI, breaks it up into 15 minute videos in this case. And I don't know why. In case you're wondering why, there's no reason for it. I would like it to not do that. And if I can get it to not do that, I will get it to not do that. Okay, so if you didn't show up, if you were unable to show up last Saturday, 10:30, you need to watch these 15 videos. You need to watch these 15 videos. And so here's the record. So we're recording again. It's Rodney up, CT110, here with Flavio Ibarra. Okay, so this is after everybody left. And worker extraordinaire. Oh my God. So none of you guys that went saw we could finish this off. So I want to make sure, because I'm pretty sure that number 13 is me saying goodbye to everybody, I think. Que bonita. Yeah. What's your name? Rodney. What's your name too? So then everybody's still there, starting to leave. So. Jim, please. And I'm gonna say bye for now, okay? Que bonita. What's your name? Rodney. What's your name too? Okay, so then you guys all left. And Flavio and I hung around. We went and got a smoothie and then came back. Record. So we're recording again. It's Rodney up, CT110, here with Flavio Ibarra, student and worker extraordinaire. Oh my God, he stayed here with me. Are you blushing, dude? So we could finish this off. Finish this off means putting the broom finish on it. And we believe that it's concrete's going off enough, given by a sheet, that we can broom it without scoring it too much. We're getting a nice broom finish, which will give us a rough finish, which is what we want. We don't want a too smooth a finish on this because. So that slab, I mean that stake, and that stake were poured in concrete. Because we don't want people slipping on it. It's a big sink and it's probably going to get wet, and it's going to be open on 3 sides, so it's definitely going to get wet. So here's how we're going to do it. If you get at that end, buddy boy, and I'll hand you the broom head, and then you'll just gently lay it down for me. So in the meantime, we'll go ahead and do this is good. Much better. Much better. I did that in the middle because I'd already broomed to there earlier. It was too wet. You don't see the date so much. Okay. Come on over. Get that side. I'll hand it to you. You'll just gently put it right on the edge. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, this is good. This is really good. That's the finish we want. That's the finish we want right there. Be right at that. With that little broom, yeah, we'll try that. We'll try that. I'm not gonna be too concerned about that. We'll try to leave Flavio on there. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. Let's see if we can't just get there. You can go ahead and pull from that. See if you just nice light. Yeah, so we'll do it. We'll go back. We'll do it, and then we'll come back and do it. like that. And maybe start with it on the right on the form. Don't let me forget to wash this thing. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, boy, you see the difference when we first started doing it? I mean, just all the difference in the world. This is really the way to go. And that little bit of stuff that's fluffing off like that, that'll just dry. It'll dry and broom off.
And really nothing to do it. I mean, if we'd have tried to mess with it then, we'd have just screwed it up more. It didn't come off too bad. Most of the big stuff came off with a broom.
What a perfect day to do that too.
Really was. If that had been sun had been blazing like it gets up there, it would have been a whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame. We would have been running to get it done.
Okay, once you go ahead, let me get a trowel. I'll knock this off and then I'll let you go around and just do those areas that I didn't get to. So you know why we're doing this? You know why we're doing this? We could have troweled it. We could have troweled it smooth, but it's going to be open on all four sides. And there's going to be a big sink on it. So the slab will be wet a lot. Yeah, so it's slippery as hell. Concrete can get pretty slippery. So a little light broom finish gives you good traction. There's going to be we're going to build a shade structure. It'll shed that way, and then that big stainless steel sink is going to get plumbed at the back. It'll be for washing the vegetables on here. Now make sure I get shit on my face. Did I? Yep, yeah.
Knock a bunch of concrete in my face. Boy, almost showed us some skin. there.
Yeah, it's not real. I tried to pick
Close.
that up. Just give it a- oh, it's a piece of cloth.
Taking off your shoes.
Say again?
I got 4
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
comments on one of these videos. From people that just wrote numbers. And
So what do you
letters.
think, Flavio? You like it?
It's weird. What the hell it was?
Pretty well. Yeah, and all that little stuff, we just leave it. It'll just dry and go away. Yeah, it's good, man. Then when you get a chance, right over here too. I could start pulling. So you know what? I could probably pull these stakes. At this point,
Who's that guy?
Some random guy with legs on his
nowhere.
shoulders.
so we could actually get to that.
Admiring the beauty. Just a really guy. Just like-
Shit, we don't even have a,
It distracted me and I
we didn't have a
stumbled at
hammer or
one
a
point.
bar or anything.
Yeah.
You do?
What?
And then go ahead and broom the one behind you too. And then if you,
Oh, that was hard.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we can get, and then if you give me that bar, I'll pull these stakes so we can get over there. We can get it, I'll get these stakes out. We can get the lasso. Yeah, good job, man. Damn good job. Is it in your lock? Yeah, where's your keys? Okay. New concrete up here. Basically placed, right? And gone off, we can pretty much start pulling stakes with impunity. It's not like it's gonna go anywhere, you know what I mean? And that way, we can get to brooming. I'll get those out of there too. I was in the ground about a foot. Yeah, good idea. Excellent idea. We could have stripped it right then. But it's really easy to ding it, so I'm glad we didn't. Especially with all the beating and doing those stupid stakes. What? Yeah, I'm super impressed with this. Really good job. And probably a run over here too, between. Okay, you can get in here and do that one. Clean that up right there on the edge. It won't be part of the slab. Yeah. Oh yeah. And ours too. Look at the 1605. I think that's what it does. 1605. Then this last one is short. Should be blessedly short. Is it horticulture 105?
Yeah, let me just double check.
I wanted to scratch the
I'll
name.
say goodbye. Hopefully you saw the broom finish. I'll zoom in on it, pan back out, and then say goodbye. Goodbye. It's been fun. First, we'll zoom in on Flavio Ibarra. Flavio, you could not have done this without you. Thank you so much for sticking around, buddy boy. And then look at this slab. Look at that. A nice broom finish. All that little stuff on top that'll just brush off. It's just concrete once it goes hard.
It's not gonna hear anything. Let's hopefully you can see that broom finish. Definitely see it when we're done. And adios, amigos, amigas.
What's that, Jess? Yeah, yeah, I do. Matter of fact, I meant to send that to them. I've got it on my camera. What I can do is send it to my pipeline right now. And I can show it to you. So I'll do that. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break and stop the old sharing. And I've got, let's call it 7, so a little before 7, and we'll break until 7:15. Come back at 7:15. And we're gonna do some cutlets. Okay? What was I supposed to do? damn thing. I never paused it. I never paused it, but okay, we're back. Everybody back? Come on back, and we're going to look at a few saws, and then we're gonna cut list. Look at a few saws, and then we're gonna cut list.
Use some water to wash it down.
Yeah, that works. No, I'm good, I got one.
Okay. I was offering.
He's like, oh.
Okay, don't anybody go. Gonna have to shake everybody down for my snacks. Okay, so welcome back. Everybody back? So, does everybody understand? Is there anybody that doesn't understand, they need to explain what the structure is gonna look like or be like, or what it's composed of? We're gonna build on that slab? Everybody pretty much understands it. I'm assuming.
I have a question.
Lou?
Yeah. What do you call it, the cuts we're gonna do on the ball nose? Is that right?
No, chamfer, but
What tool are we using for this?
I'm about to demo all that.
Okay.
Everything you just asked about.
Okay.
Where's the dog?
So from the side view, well, let's look at it from a down view. We'll draw it on the board. It's our 6'6" by 15-foot slab. And we're gonna have a 6'6" post here, 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 and here. There's 6 inches here, 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 here. Only it's worked out to be about 5.5, 5 3/4, 6. Kind of all over the place. Those things got banged around a little bit. That's fine. These are in line. That's what's important. As these guys are parallel, and these are parallel. These guys here are parallel to these guys here. So this dimension is the same as this dimension. That's pretty important. So 4 6x6s. And on a side view, looking at it this way, you're going to have slab. It's actually, as we all know, looks more like this. With our column bases down in it. We're going to have posts. So that post is going to go up. I think I've got this one at 7. I can't remember. I'll have to look on the plan. And then there's column caps. It's nailed, I can't remember the nail that way or that way. And they create a pocket, or they create a hanger for 6x10s. And then we're going to put rafters on it with this very slight bird's mouth. And an overhang. And a metal roof on top of that. So 6x6s, 4 of them. Running across or on top of them. We cantilever 6x10s. And then running perpendicular to the 6x10s or 2x4 rafters.
You have like lights hanging down.
That's gonna be somebody else's job. So these are 6x10,
Probably not, because nobody's supposed to be there at night.
6x10, 6x6.
How do you get the 6x10s up there?
Are you volunteering?
No.
There's a couple of ways. You can take things up a little at a time and put ledgers. You nail 2x4 ledgers and give it up like, increments at a time with guys at either end. But we're not gonna do that. We have plenty of people to get that guy up there. But we're gonna use a genie lift. So we'll rent a genie lift, or I'll borrow a genie lift. And we'll roll out the truck and we'll roll it on, we'll put it right there and we'll roll the wheels up and we'll get people on either side and pick up the 6x10 and drop in the genie lift and we'll crank the genie lift up and we'll roll it in and then we'll crank the genie lift down and stuff like that. Genie lift. So a genie lift as I bet you some of you have no earthly idea.
Could you do it with a forklift or a tractor?
Oh, yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah.
You do?
We have both of those.
Yeah, we won't have to rent a genie lift. But can you, oh yeah, you sorry, you don't do anything. I have to. Hey, cool. Glad you made it, bud. Why did I mark you as here?
Because I was on Zoom.
Oh, you were on Zoom.
I was just waiting for the classes. Right when
I am glad you're here. So, what was I gonna do? Oh, yeah. For those of you that don't know what a genie lift is, that's a genie lift. That's a 500-pounder probably. Yeah. See that? Those forks that go up and Lou, what does this give you?
What, that thing?
Yeah.
Lifts it up.
Which is what?
Oh, is it the mechanical advantage?
So this is the mechanical advantage. Now, when you are just using your muscles and it's teamwork with human beings, there is no advantage. This is just as much strength as you can bring to bear. And the more people, then you can bring more strength and you can lift bigger things. But a single person or two people can lift phenomenal amounts of weight and do move phenomenal amounts of material and lift weight and move weight and pivot weight and do all kinds of stuff with larger things with mechanical advantage. So mechanical advantage is what you're always looking for, is mechanical advantage. And mechanical advantages can be as simple as a pulley, a lever, pry bar, mechanical advantage. Pulling nails, that bar, the hammer, that's using a mechanical advantage. And genie lift is the kind, it's the mechanical advantage of choice on the construction site when lifting heavy beams. Unless you've got a great all, forklift, tractor, if you've got something on site that you can lift it with, then you don't have to go get a genie lift. But most framing companies have one or two genie lifts. Just to lift beam, just to set beams and large headers and stuff in place.
I like pulleys.
You like pulleys?
It's like you get twice the amount of force.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, that's right. Twice or maybe
Like
even
one-
three times. It's a
And then I think it like somehow there's like exponents and like the force like multiplies.
Exactly. It's the whole
It's like a
principle
chalk
behind
line, so-
behind pulleys, or whether it's a 2-block or 1-block pulley, the whole mechanical advantages when you're pulling a compound bow that's set up with pulleys. All that stuff. Mechanical advantage. It's the thing, man. It's what separates us humans from the animals. And here's a super GA lift, 650 pounds. Yeah, some of them will lift relatively high. All right, where are we here? Okay, the shade structure. So the shade structure. So here's what I just drew. I don't know why I bothered sketching it on the board, but so there's our 6.6 by 15.0 slab, which we just did the last 2 weekends. Now we're going to get a lumber drop of most of this stuff. Now let's see. This looks like there's the slab of the thing. The columns, the posts, right, which are columns, are 6 by 6. Is going to be 4 of them 8 feet. So that's our rough. So let's start our rough lumber list. Okay, starting from the posts, right? I like to build from the floor up, which we did, which is how you need to build. It's a joke, right? And then we'll start building the walls. Well, there are no walls, so let's start with the vertical members, which are the posts, and there's 4 at 8 feet. And this is our rough. Rough lumber list. This is what we're going to order from Hayward. We're going to order 4 to 8 feet because oh yeah. So we got 2 at 6.8 and 1 at 7.6. Now I made that 6.8. I took it as low. So you're standing here, south being the ocean side. You're standing here. You're standing actually here, working on that sink right here. And so we want the structure to shed water off that way. We don't want it to shed that. We don't want to, as you enter, we don't want a trough of water. We can take a trough of water back there, no sweat. That gives us more options to what to do with the water. We could even hang a gutter on there, but at any rate, that's the way it's going to go. And at 6.8, you can pass under it just fine because that's a 6.8 door right there. So is that, so is that. All 3 doorways are 6'8", 80 inches. You have any trouble passing through them? Anybody here? No, we don't, because we're all about 6'6", 6'2", and under. So that's what 6'8" is about. So we'll have that at 6'8", so you can come from that side if you want, and then we'll take it up to 7'6". So it's going to raise up 10 inches, and that's going to be the pitch. I'll determine that pitch. I'll determine what that angle is. It's a slight angle. It's let's see, if this were this whole thing, the Raptors at 10 feet. I'd have to extrapolate what that is, but just in this pitch, in 6'6", if it moves, what did I say, 6 inches? 6 inches, 70. So at 6, 24. Anyway, I can't figure that right now in my head. I'll have to do that on paper. What the pitch of the roof is. But if we do it this way, and I don't see any reason why not. The only thing I'm thinking about changing, because this feels pretty good to me, feels like that header height at 7'6" is a good height. It's nice and high. It won't feel like you're a duck or even thinking about duck. It's nice and high. I'm considering playing with it at 8 foot and making a steeper pitch, which would make us a deeper bird's mouth, but I don't think I will. I like the 7'6" and I like the gentle pitch. I don't think it needs to be a sharp pitch. But remember, I am making all these decisions. I'm weighing all these questions in my own head. And I am throwing them out there as if they're questions, but really, I don't really expect you to have an answer unless you do go, oh no, yeah, no, I think you should have a 4 and 12 for sure. But I kind of get that nobody really has an opinion about that. So I'm designing this as I go. But I have drawn it. So I'm actually changed it because I like the way it looks on the drawing as well. The only thing I'm thinking about changing is that 2x4 roof rafter to a 2x6.
Yes.
I think I'll give it I mean, it only needs a 2x4, and it's just a metal roof, and that 2-foot centers it could go. But I'm thinking I think I'm going to redraw it in 2x6, and I think it might look better because everything else is 6 inches, and we'll be able to do a deeper bridge mount. So we will do that in 2x6. That'll be a good change. We're gonna change that. But in the meantime, we got posts. We're gonna get rough, 4 of them at 8 feet, and that's. It's always good to know what you're getting 4 of. So 4 6x6 by 8 feet, and these are all DF #1 select exposed FOHC, which means what? Free of Art Center, exactly correct. Now we're going to need 2 headers. They're going to be 6x10s by 18, right? By 18 feet. I'd only planned on doing 16. I didn't get that dimension on here, but if you'll notice, these guys only cantilever 6 inches past the slab, so 1 foot past the post, right? So there's a post, edge of the post, 6 inches to the edge of the slab, 6 inches to the edge, outside rafter, end of beam. So that's based on 16 foot, 15-foot slab, and 6 inches either side, adding another foot, making it 16. I got an 18 to get a clean 16 so we could cut off the ends in case they were checked. But I'm thinking that we'll go ahead and cantilever this a little bit more. We have a nice clean 18-footer. I'm gonna get 18s. We have a nice clean 18-footer. We'll clean up the ends and see how much we can get. Okay, we will get a little bit more cantilever. We'll probably do the rafter. We will do the rafters just like this, but we might let the beams cantilever out a little bit. And just let them go in, just more wood. Why not? Why get rid of it? It's not in a place where it's going to get anybody's way. You'll be able to hang stuff off it, lanterns or whatever. But we know rough, we're going to want the 18s, and then we're going to have to think about what we want to cut these, and we will, because we're going to do a finished cut list too. Okay. So there's our posts and our 2 header beams. That's those 4 guys right there. I've numbered them on the site for the elevations I took as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 starting here and then going clockwise to 4. There's the 6x10s, there's the 6x6s, and now the only other thing is the 2x4 rafters, which are going to become 2x6 rafters. I've figured them at 10 feet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them.
When you put in the middle for like the bracing,
Say again, please.
the bracing in between the rafters, like isn't there a piece of wood that goes in between to keep them like straight up and down, or?
See that right there? See the next line?
Yeah.
What does it say?
It's a 2x4.
It says blocking, right? BLKG.
Oh, yeah, so it's the block.
Yeah. Those are the blocking, man. The things you didn't let me get to. You second guessed me again. Yes. So see up there?
I got excited. Yeah.
See up there? See those dotted lines? Those are 2x4 freeze blocks. And actually, we'll probably hold this one to that side. Yeah, we'll hold this one to that side. We'll hold this one to the outside. What we'll do. But those are the freeze blocks, and they will go between each rafter. So as I was describing with a bunch of hand waving, and I'll describe it again with a bunch of hand waving because I thought it was awesome hand waving. So in hand waving, what we're going to do is that once the posts are up and that If I still got it on, sure, no, I've got it on. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Because it's projecting that? So there, that's why it's doing it, right? Yeah, I want you, it's showing it to you guys. I want you guys to see the pin. Boy, I'll tell you. Sorry for watching. Yeah, so these guys can see me on Zoom. Okay. So picture the posts, right? Header beams. And then so posts, header beams. And then with the bird's mouth cut, and the bird's mouths are the parts of the rafters that are cut out to set on the plate at the angle that the pitch of the roof is. That your rafter doesn't just sit on the corner of that plate. It's let in and sets down on the plate. And so we'll cut those bird's mouth in here all the same. So that when we put that together, we've got those posts with those beams all plumbed up. We're going to put the end rafter on, right? We're going to toenail it. We're going to put a freeze block against it and toenail that freeze block and nail the freeze block. We're going to jam another rafter right against it, lock it into the bird's mouth. We're going to lock it down. We're going to put another freeze block exactly the same. Put a rafter on the side of that, lock down in a bird's mouth, and just rafter, blocking, rafter, blocking, rafter, blocking, right? And that will keep your rafters from doing anything. And we're going to put clips on it too. So I'll show you that when I bring it back up. What the clip is. We're going to put A35's rafter to header. That'll lock our rafters to header even more. And then let's go ahead and keep going with our rough list. Because we're changing, and we like 2x6s, right? I think that's a good idea.
Does the blocking have to become 2x6 or is it just 2x4?
It changes with blocking the 2x6 as well, yes. Yes, it does. Okay, so we're going to change that. We're going to still keep 9 rafters, roof rafters, by 10 feet. Only we're going to change them. RR. By the way, anytime you see RR in construction, a plan, it means roof rafter. CJ means ceiling joist. FJ means floor joist. Always. They'll never mean anything else. RR never means railroad on the construction site. It's, roof rafters. So the roof rafters are going to be 9 of them, 2 by 6 by 10 footers, like that. And then the freeze blocks are blocking, BLKG. The blocking, what did I figure we needed? Because this thing needs basically 16 feet of block, although let's call it 18. The 36 feet of blocking. What did I call out here? I called out 4, that's only 32 feet. That's because I had 16s. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get you really get nice stuff in 8 footers. So let's get 5/8. So we get 5, 2 by 6 by, what did I just say? 8 feet. By 8 feet. Yeah. That's the block. Okay, so now we've got basically the structure's built. The roof materials there, the wiggle boards there, the fasteners are there. We don't have anything for. I want to do some 45s. What are we on? We're sharing a screen. I want to do some 45s. I want to do some kind of corbelling. I just don't know what yet, and I think we'll wait and get it built. And what I mean by that, back and forth is sharing this thing, but then I'm not really sharing this with you guys. You can't see it. It's like if I'm going to do 3 things simultaneously. What was I just talking about? The corbels. corbels or kickers. Once it's built, this does not have to be done while we're building it. We can get it built and roof on and get it to look the way it like that, the way it's meant to, and then we can decide how we want to corbel it, because I think we want to add some corbels. So if we look at this face on, we're going to see a post coming out of the slab. And a post coming out of the slab. These are going to be dead level. And a header running across it. And then a bunch of rafters. On top of that. 2 feet. Probably too many. And then a roof on top of that. A wiggly metal roof. With me so far. This will be freeze blocked. That'll all be blocked in between. So you won't see air through there. We're going to chamfer these ends. So if you look at the end of those guys, we're going to get chamfer. We're going to get 45. Now I'm thinking about chamfering the posts. Stop chamfering the posts. Stop chamfering the beams. I'm going to show you the chamfers and see what you think, because we're going to have some time to kind of jazz it up. We think about it though. We've only got 6 pieces of wood in this whole structure and a roof. There's 6 pieces of wood. That's the whole structure. And the roof, which is another 9 pieces in the roofing, and then each block another 16 blocks. So this to rack this, even though we're going to have, this is a very jazzy, you know, SDS column cap with all kinds of screws in it from both sides that really will really rack it, and it won't allow it to collapse. That's what racking is, and it can't really go this way either. But what it can do is it can wind could wreak major havoc on this thing. The wind will be coming off the ocean, right? It'll be coming up like that, and we'll be hitting up on the underside of this roof. So we want to make sure it's really well anchored. And then to add shear, if we think it needs to have added shear, right? If we think it needs it, and that's not to say not sure that it really does. Then we'll add some kickers of some sort, corbel / kicker. Something as simple as that. Or maybe we'll do something like that. You know, we'll get the structure up, see what we got, or we want to get some more material, see if we maybe want to do some bandsaw, corbels. There's all kinds of stuff. But in the meantime, with those 6 pieces of material, we can erect this thing, and then we can just start throwing on rafters. And matter of fact, that's the thing, is we're gonna be able to pre-cut our rafters here and bird's mouth here, because as long as I've got these lines parallel, as long as that line of that 6 by 6 is parallel to that 6 by 6, it'll all work out. And then the bird's mouths will lock in, and the rafters will be perpendicular, and we can do it all here rather than there and make all our cuts there and try to get everybody over there to do it. You know, we'll do it here. I'm hoping to make all our cuts next week. And so the following week, or perhaps Saturday, we can do another Saturday over there. We'll figure out how we're going to get this stuff over there sometime. Who's going to get it up? Good news is it's It's 6 pieces and a roof. 6 pieces and a roof. So let's do some finish cut listing and then I'll triple check it. Okay, so that's what we're gonna get right there. That is what we are going to get. Let me just see.
Hey Rodney.
Yes.
Is the tricky part gonna be getting the headers over there since they're so long?
Yeah, it's gonna be the tricky part, but it's gonna be okay. Yeah, but it's still be good. You're gonna go on yourself. Right, your rack will take a 16, right? It doesn't take an 18, just strap it down. It's front enough. And if not, I mean, I can borrow a trailer, we can take them to Chinstrap, we'll get them over there. It won't be that tough. It shouldn't be that tough. Don't anticipate it being that tough. Okay, so that looks like the thing behind me, the rough cut list behind me fits with what I got here, with the way I drew it and planned it, right? 4 6x6 by 8, 2 6 by 10, 18, 9 2 by 6. I'm going to change that to by 10 and 4. I only want to change that to 5 2 by 6. Right. The roofing's there. The wiggle board's there. The galvanized cord, the panels are there. Slab's done. Okay, so I showed you guys this. That was my takeoff of the concrete. Do you have any questions about that one? How we did that? No, okay. And then here's the quotes that we got. And this one is this is the one. So there's our 32 linear feet. There's our 6 by 6 by 8, 4/8 tower, 4/8, right? And those are shit. Those are 5 to 7 days out. I didn't look at the fine print. I guess that's supply line thing happening, right? Okay, there's our 18s, 2 at 18. 5 to 7 days out. And that's because they're select exposed. Free of Heart Center. Those are coming right from the mill. And then we're looking for KD here, and I'll change those 2x4. There's 7, so that's 14. Okay, so he got me all my 2x4s, rafters and blocking in that at 720s. So what's that, 140 lineal? What have we got? We got 90 and 40, right? That's 130. So he's got more than enough. I'm going to redo that line anyway and get the 2x6s, so they'll all be on one line, the blocking and the rafters. 2x6s, the column caps, we get those all 4 at $95 each. Yeah. Delivery. So that's probably it, other than those tweaks. The 2x4 line 3 I will tweak as 2x6.
Why does it say quantity ordered like 36 and 36?
Which one now?
This 6x10 and the 6x6?
So 6x10.
I know it says like tally 4 at 8 feet, but then at quantity ordered.
Yeah, that's 36 linear feet. 2
Oh, okay.
18s is 36 linear feet, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions about that? How about the unit price? Remember me harping on the per 1,000? All board foot prices are per 1,000, which means that those 6x10s are $3,350 per 1,000 board feet. How much are they per board foot? $3.35. And so how many board feet are there in that? And 36 lineal, 6 by 10, well, 60 over 10 is 5, so there's 180 lineal feet. I'm sorry, there's 180 board feet in those two sticks. 180 board feet. See how I got that? You want me to walk you through how I got that? I'll walk you through in my mind. Okay, 6 by 10 over 12 is how we figure. That's how I figure board foot of anything. So I go 6 by 10. 6 times 10 is 60 over 12. 12 into 60 goes 5 times. So for every foot of a 6 by 10, every 1 foot is 5 board feet. So 5 times the 36 lineal feet is 180. Just that's how I do anything. So anything that that is on top, anything that's a 2 by 4, 2 by 2, any of those things like 2 by 12, 2 by 6, 3 by 4, 4 by 6, 3 by 12, 4 by 12, anything that is divisible by 12 is really easy, right? Like 2 by 12. That's 4 board feet every foot. 2 times 12, 24 divided by 12 is 2. 2 board feet, right? A 3 by 12. How many board feet in a foot of 3 by 12? 3 board feet. How about a 6 by 12? So it's pretty easy to figure board feet. 6 by 6, same thing. 6 times 6 is 36 over 12. 12 into 36 goes 3 times. So every foot of that stick, every lineal foot is 3 board feet. And so 32 lineal feet is 96 board feet of our 6 by 6. And then we get down to 2 by 4, it's 2 times 4 over 12. So that's 8 over 12, that's 2/3. So every single lineal foot is 2/3 of a board foot in a 2 by 4. So then you take the lineal foot of the 2 by 4, which is 140, right? Is that what it was? There's a lineal foot. 720 is 140 lineal. They did it by, yeah, 7. So 140 lineal times 0.666. 2/3 of 140 is what? 320 was 40, it's 80 something. My head right this second. So are you getting the picture? So that's how, if you were figuring this structure for yourself or for your neighbor or for somebody you don't know for money, you're going to want to know what it's going to cost you, right? So I suggest the best way for you to do it is to draw it, because then you can not only have something that you can quote or have quoted or do your takeoff from, but then you can also, you have a drawing to show something. This is what I want to build for you from this amount. And then you can take that thing. Of course, you've already done a rough takeoff, and you may already have, since you've been doing takeoffs and this is your business, you already know that your high-end stuff, your 6x and select expose are 3350. You know that. So you know you can start figuring your costs on your feet. You can do rough estimates of costs and stuff. Okay, let's finish cut list this. All right, let's do a finish cut list. And okay. So we'll take a break in 6 or 7 minutes, or whenever I say so. We'll take another break, like a 10-minute break, and then we'll get our cut list finished up. And I'm going to show you these tools we're going to cut with. I'm going to call it. So right now, I want to pin. What was it going to do? We're going to cut list. You wanted to jump ahead there, and I knew it. Now, let's go ahead and take, remember, we don't have that many pieces. That's the good news. So there's our rough lumber list. Now let's get our finished lumber list. Now, what I really need is my plan, which I just happen to have. And since it's the original, I can actually erase it and change it right now. Change it right now. I'm going to change those 2x4s to 2x6s. And I'm gonna change the blocking from 5, from 4 to 5, and from 2x4 to 2x6. Okay, those are my changes. I'm gonna put some stars right there and date it 11/2/21, so I can I'll know what to look for. Okay. So let's say these posts. Let's say we want to cut 2 at 6/8. Okay, here's our finish. All right. Post equal 2 6x6 by, excuse me, 7 foot 6 inches. That's per my drawing. Oh, wait. Well, it's true. 2 at 7/6 and 2 at 6/8. You guys see that? Hopefully it will focus sometime soon. Okay, there's our posts, and then here's our headers. Let's call them beams. Let's call a spade a spade. Beams equal 2 6x10 by the way, how much do you think 6x10 weighs?
A lot.
We'll get some guesses and then we'll find out, okay? 2 by 7, 2 6x10 by, now we're gonna get him 18. And then a 15-foot slab, that'd be 18 inches of cantilever past the slab, which would be 2 foot of cantilever past the post. I kind of like that. So I think I'm gonna call them at 1710. And we'll take an inch off each end just to clean up the ends. Unless we get killer ends, we can change up at this point. But let's call them 17 foot 10 inches. Now our rafters, I know now I've called out 10s. And the reason why I'm sighing is because we've got in between, the whole thing's 6'6", we're a foot in, so we got 5'6" in between. We got a 10-footer on the outside of that, 5'6", from 10 is 4'6", so that's 2'3" of a cantilever at each end, and that's plenty. That's plenty of cantilever. 2'3". And so that's this much of that rafter plus the stuff is the roofing's 10s anyway. So that's 2'3" of cantilever. Yeah, that's good cantilever. Both sides. Plus the rafters. The roofing material are 10s anyway. So we're gonna do 10s, and we'll get 10s. And we may want to go select out the stock, the 2x4s. Maybe go look at the stock. Might want to do that. We don't have any control of the 6x, but they're coming from a mill, and they're, for the price we're paying for them, they better be good, or we'll send them back. So they'll be good then. So the 2x6s, why am I saying this? Oh, the 10-footers. Just because if we want a 10-foot rafter, sometimes you can't use the ends of boards, right? You typically clean up the ends of boards. So we could call those guys out again at 9 foot, but why don't I call them at 12s? And we'll just cut them to 10, maybe 10 plus even. And then we'll get nice clean cuts. We'll have some fall off. And when I do figure my rough on the fall off, I will probably refigure this, figuring that I could have Yeah, I won't have enough, my fall off won't work for blocks either. So we'll be wasting some material, which I hate to do, but again, you know, we're gonna waste nine pieces of 2 by 4 ends, but it'll allow us to get a 10-foot for sure, clean end rafter. And not have to mess around, because I don't know if you've seen the ends of boards, but a lot of times the ends are just not real usable. So. I kind of hate to do it, but I think I'm gonna do it.
It's okay, we can store whatever's left over and use it.
Yeah, use the blocks or something, right? Burn the blocks. Something, so we're gonna make these guys 12s. And then I'll refigure that blocking and everything and making sure, no, I won't have to refigure it because we're not gonna use those ends. That's still good. And then these guys are ours equal 9 2 by 6 by 10. What do you think?
Well,
What do you think?
place it well. Oh, fun, yeah.
Yeah, so this is there just doesn't get any simpler. And yet, does it seem simple to you? Because it doesn't to me. On one hand, yeah, it's simple. It's 6 pieces and 9 rafters. But then the slab, it's just a rectangular slab, right? 6 by 15. Was it simple? Was that a simple thing? There's nothing simple about that. It took all of us. It took all those tools. It took, I mean, you all watched what it took, and you all watched what it took too. It took a lot of work, man, and a lot of head scratching and a lot of all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
I think how you're breaking it down is simplifying it though.
Yeah.
How you're doing it, how you're going about.
Well, yeah, I want, true, and that's what I want to do. I want to make I want you to see the components of it.
Yeah.
And those should be simple, but the whole is simple in concept. But the reality of it is it's not that simple.
Yeah. And to the common person, like Mike, for instance, that's
Yeah.
why he's just like, do it. I don't
Yeah.
wanna do
Oh, yeah,
it.
just get it done. It's
Yeah.
just go to the slab.
Yeah.
Throw it up. Well, most people, I can't tell you the amount of times I've heard this. Oh, can you just throw in? As soon as I hear throw in, it's like, stop right there. Or if you're gonna say door, window, baseboard, crown molding, countertops, dishwasher, whatever the heck you were gonna say, stop. Because, you know, people have this image of, just bam, 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 right? Yeah, it doesn't happen that way. Nothing happens that way. That's not how life happens. So, okay, where are we? We got a good cut list. I think we got a good finished cut list. And we got a good rough cut list, and I'm gonna order this first thing in the morning. I'll call my buddy who's the operations manager at Hayward, and I'll tell him he's gotta push this through fast, and I will make a point to double check this. I'll take a picture of this and I'll double check this. Make sure I get the right amount for my blocking. No, I don't think I have to. I don't have to. I'll double check it, but we're gonna get 9 rafters. We're gonna be able to cut them into 10, and those 40 foot of 2 by 4 will get us our blocks. So I'm not gonna check anything. That's what I'm gonna get. And I'm gonna ask him for 8s and 12s because we're way more likely. See, he wants to give us 20s. Problem is, I may not be able to get 10s and 12s. We'll see. We'll just see what I can get. I think if I remember correctly, he might have given me 20s because he said 16s, 18s, and 20s were all that were available. So we'll find out. Okay, take a break. I've got about 5 after 8. Come back at 15 after 8, and then we'll go through tools and finish up. Okay, take a 10-minute break. 11 actually. We're splitting hairs.
Did someone else?
You should just permanently have it.
I
Okay.
don't know if I want it.
Yeah. nobody wants it.
Yeah, nobody wants. It's a thankless job. It's like the guy that checks you out at Costco, that checks your receipt, right? Who wants that job?
Me.
Do you want that job, honestly? Oh my God. No, don't
Yeah,
touch
it's
receipts.
pay me to do it.
Yeah, that, you don't want that. You don't want that job. Basically, people are just going like, what, you think I stole from you?
Well, did you hear about that guy who just walked out with a?
The Home Depot guy with the tools?
Yeah.
Yeah, believe me, I was following that thread. I decided not to get involved in next door threads anymore.
Not local or?
Yeah, this Home Depot, some guy posts on next door. Yeah, I was at Home Depot the other day and I saw a guy pushing a crate load of tools who looked like he couldn't afford them. Now that was a hot button thing to say, right? So probably fully half the people that commented on, oh, what does that look like? You know, and they got into all kinds of weird stuff.
Wow.
But then apparently he stopped the guy and asked him if he had a receipt, and he noticed there was a Home Depot employee filming him. And the guy was evasive and said, I'm waiting for my friend. He goes, well, where's your receipt? He goes, and then the guy just split. Oh, so apparently he just loaded up that cart for brand new Ryobi tools and wheeled out. And there were people saying, Ryobi tools, you thought he couldn't afford Ryobi tools? You know, people just weird. So yeah, I read about that. You know, nobody was arrested, so we got put back. But then it started this whole thread. Of people claiming that California, thanks to Governor Newsom, which, by the way, is a total and complete 100% lie. It's a fabrication. That you can steal anything you want, selling under $950. That shoplifting is not illegal if you keep it under $750. So you can go to CVS, and get whatever you want. You go wherever you want. As long as you don't steal over $950, it's totally legal in California. Thanks to Governor Newsom.
Really?
No, it's a complete fabrication. But people actually believe that. People believe that stuff. No, it's not true. It's not true. Not true. Not true. Shoplifting is illegal. Period. It's illegal. They're not prosecuting as a felony under $950. It's still prosecutable as a misdemeanor. But the weird thing about shoplifting is they have to somehow prove that you had intent, that you came into the store with intent to shoplift, and then then it's felony. If you were just in a store and decided, oh, I need that, that's a misdemeanor. So did you pre-plan to steal the stuff? Hell no, I just thought about when I got there. You know, I got there, I saw that car, and I thought, I gotta have that. I don't know what the heck. You know, it's like people will believe so many weird things. And it's kind of like, well, I read it on the internet. Oh, then it has to be true, right? Anybody, and then there's the so-called people, right? The internet relationships, right? Because anybody can be anyone on the internet. You might think you're talking to an attractive 25-year-old female, and you're really talking to an unattractive 75-year-old, guy with warts all over his nose or something. I don't know. I dated on Match. I actually met my wife on Match, but I was single for that time for that 7 years. But if I liked you, if I liked your profile, if I liked your pictures, meet me for coffee. Anywhere, not just so we can make some kind of contact and I can really see if you really are the person you say you are. And then we'll take it from there. So the 6x6s and the 6x10s, we're going to cut with something called a beam saw. This is a beam saw. It's an incredible piece of machinery, as you can probably see. See what an incredible piece of machinery it is. It's heavy. It's a one-man saw. What we'll do is we'll get those 6x6 and horses. We'll look at frames for. Hopefully we've got a big feet square. We'll get a nice square line, and then we'll run this guy across and we'll square it up and then we'll measure it to length. And we'll cut it to length. That's a beam saw. Did you think we were gonna use it with the thing on the bottom?
Yeah.
Well, what happens to that blue thing on the bottom? So that's it, man. Now that, you think that's a big enough blade?
No.
No.
You think you wanna peg that guard there? So that blade's out hanging there? So, you know, you don't just nick your leg with that. Basically, you take your leg and two other people's legs off of it. But yeah, it's a beam saw, and it will cut, as you can see, relatively deep. It's dropped down all the way right now. So in its present condition, I saw a tape hanging around here. And it's because you can raise it to cut less deep, but for a full depth cut right now. So this thing will cut 6 1/4 deep. So it'll cut our 6/5 one pass. If we didn't have this beam saw, which we do have, and I had an older one at my shop that I use a lot of. We'll do our square cuts and any cuts we have on those 6/5s. If we didn't have a beam saw, we'd hope we had a Bigfoot version of the skill saw. So by the way, at some point, I want everybody. I think they're saying, Evan, go over there and see if they're seeing this okay, if I'm looking good. So some of you can.
You want to be able to see the.
Just take a look at the screen, see if it's showing me okay. Looking good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So at one point, I want everybody here and pick up these saws. So that thing cuts 6 1/4 deep. This Bigfoot, it's called a Bigfoot. It's maxed out. It's as deep as it cuts, and it cuts right at 4 inches. So it'll cut a 4x4 in one pass. And then you got your skill saw. A mag, the mag's a little lighter, actually. And a mag dropped all the way, and a 7 1/4 skill saw. That's gonna cut a max of 2 1/4 deep, right? 2 1/4 deep. 4, 6 1/4. So you cut 4/5s with that. Cut 6/5s with that. You can cut, what did I say this was, 2 1/4? That, most people will just have a skill saw. You can cut the 6x6s, right? But what you gotta do is you gotta cut them, right? Now you still only cut 4 1/2 inches deep. So you have to finish with a handsaw. So you can cut a 6x6 with a skill saw and a handsaw. Or you cut the whole thing with a handsaw. You can cut anything with a handsaw, but virtually.
What was the middle one called again?
It's called a Bigfoot. It's skill saw's version of the Bigfoot. And it's a modified 7 1/4 worm drive to hold I think it's a 10-inch saw, 10-inch blade, but that's the one that cuts 4. And that will cut 4x4s all day long. And if you're cutting 4x material and 4x headers, cutting enough of them, Bigfoot's a good thing to have, because a Bigfoot will also cut anything else. It's just that.
What's the blade size on the beam saw?
The beam saw is a 16-inch blade, a bigger channel.
So 7 1/4, 10-inch, and 16-inch.
Yeah, 16-inch blade. Yeah.
Okay.
6, 16, 7 1/4. I believe this is a 10-inch 42.
Yeah.
And then, this baby. Oh, where's our skill stone?
It's right there. in your hand.
Yeah. So this guy is again 7 1/4 worm drive. It happens to be battery operated, battery powered. It will also cut 2 1/4 deep. But what I'd like you all to do is walk over to these saws and start picking them up, right? Start with this one and get a feel for that one. That's the lightest one. Pick this one up. Get a feel for that. Get a feel for it with one hand. This guy, pick this guy up, get a feel for it in one hand too. And then pick this guy up. Okay, everybody, line up. Pick them all up. All you people from Zoom, get out here and pick them up too.
Oh, yeah, your dog's not playing.
He'll just be hanging out by a car.
Yeah.
But while you guys do that, I'm gonna go put him in the car.
You drive the car.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
You don't even have a license.
This is beautiful. Get a full heart attack.
That's a good one.
How does that feel?
It's like 30, no, 40 pounds.
I mean, it doesn't even have a blade in it, so it's just gonna be the damn thing spinning.
How much does one of those bean saws go for?
I probably is one. I don't know, maybe. Your lights.
$800.
Huh?
800.
Okay, wow.
How much is this weigh?
$800. Cost $800.
Oh, that one's actually not. that
Rodney,
bad.
how much does a saw weigh?
This fellow-
Like in the 50s or 60s?
I don't think that much. It weighs 15 amp motor.
Yeah, it does actually kill.
Oh, wait, 28.7 pounds.
This one feels like.
28.7.
That's lighter than you think. 30, 40 pounds. God damn, bro, imagine cutting something. Huh. Put it on the side.
Is
this one-
how big is this?
Imagine pulling up with this.
That's a 10-inch blade.
Down as a sun.
That's a lot heavier than a steel saw. And certainly that's just the dream come true. Isn't it? And that is minus 2 batteries. Oh, wait, no, they're in there. Are the batteries in there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just minus a blade. Okay, so do me a favor, when we get done, just whoever's the last one to do that, drop it in there. And yeah, you can just put those in a pile.
We can buy a battery. Yeah, you can do. There's some other one.
Where did I leave the first one?
Hey, notice.
Okay, so. Yeah, this guy, put that guy in there, and then these guys will put.
I'm gonna go back out. I know, right? The firefighters, really, it's a battle. But I guess it gets-
Hey, let's not talk about the nose. Oh, let's not talk about that. We're gonna do the edges. You shall see. Okay, so chamfers. Chamfers. Now, Lou didn't know what a chamfer is. Mike Silva, do you know what a chamfer is?
That I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna show you all what a chamfer is.
How do you spell it?
CHMFER, chamfer.
CHM?
Okay, so there's those beam saws. What did I say, $700? Yeah, $800 in tax.
That's new.
So that's, yeah, it's brand new, $800. What was I doing? Okay, chamfer. Chamfer. God, stop it. Okay. Chamfer. That's a chamfer. Get it?
We can't see it yet.
It'll get brighter. There's one of them.
Turn off one of them?
Yeah, just do one. It gets a little brighter. Should be able to see it. You guys see what a chamfer is right there? You see what it looks like right there?
And that's just at the end.
So there's a sharp edge, there's a filleted edge, there's a chamfered edge. A fillet is a radiused edge, the profile is an arc. Chamfer applies a flat at an angle to the edge, and then a bevel occurs when the flat is the whole edge and no vertical wall. So we're going to have a chamfered edge, and we're going to use
On the 10x6s, like the beams.
how do you do the fillet edge? I'm going to show you that too. Okay, chamfer bits. Now I've got some here, I think, but I think I'm going to get a big 45. I think I'm going to get something like an Amana. Let's see what Buena's got. But that puts a 2 deep 3/4 face, 45 degree and a 1/2 inch shank. And I got to find a 1/2 inch shank router. I've got to find the router for it. But that's the bit. I'll get a bit, something like that, to put the chamfered edges on the beam. And I'm going to show you how a couple of these routers work. Yeah. Sure. Okay, so that's what a chamfered bit looks like. Oh, crap. So we're going to put the chamfers on. Beams and the posts. Probably not the rafters, but hey, stranger things have happened. And then basically the edge details, the router is what you want to use basically, essentially, to put an edge detail. An edge detail on a board. And they're appropriate in all kinds of situations. It lends a nice decorative edge. Now, my mantle. My mantle is a big painted mantle with a giant cove underneath. It has another buildup as well. But my mantle about like that. You can see that. Only it's up about that high. See that? Okay, so this is an end cut from my mantle. It's a solid 8/4 poplar we use. And I was just playing with some bits. So these are edge details. That's a 3/8 roundover with an 1/8 inch step. I can have a roundover with no step. I can have various depth steps. That's a cove. That's a cove bit on a router. It's another radius. We're just trying out different edges. That's the cove. I think I put the cove on the underside to duplicate that cove, that big sprung cove I had underneath. What I used was I used this router, cordless router. Oh, good. All right. I thought it had a chamfer bit in it, but it doesn't. So this is a radius or a roundover bit. It's the same principle as that chamfer bit I just showed you. I just showed everybody on the screen. Only this one does a, what was that word? A fillet. This does a fillet, but it's called a roundover or radius edge. And this is set for a step. You can see the step in it. Cool. Very cool. I never used this router. Ooh, I like that though. That's very cool.
Are steps more used for like cabinet like things? Like
Well, it's used for finish work.
yeah.
You know what? I'm not getting love and bring that down. I don't know why. So I'll do this with a step. I'll show this one with a step. And I'll show this one. This is a plunge router. I've got to learn to use this stuff all over again. All right. Am I plugged in? Which plug in?
Maybe this is the way to go now.
Yeah, you think?
I think
So I'm going to be limited. This router, this is a small half-horse router. This is really a laminate trimmer, a big version of a laminate trimmer. The hole in the bottom of my shoe, the router base, is going to be the limiter for what I can put on there for size of bit. I like a pretty big chamfer bit. I think I'm going to research it and make sure we have a collet that'll take a 1/2 inch shank. This has a collet, and that's this piece right in here, right in there. And this is a 1/4 inch collet, and it'll take a 1/4 inch shank on the router bits, which this is a 1/4 inch shank. That's a 1/4 inch shank. There are other collets, larger routers. Typically, you want to go up to about 3/4 to 1. Then you can put in 1/2 inch collets that take a 1/2 inch shank. Twice the thickness of the shank, so you can use bigger bits. As a matter of fact, and router bits are not just for edge details, but people like them for edge details. We like them for edge details. They're what you want to use to put an edge detail on. I thought I had more. This is straight bit. It's a 3/4 double flute straight bit, carbide tips. You don't buy anything anymore, it's steel, no high-speed steel. Carbide tip. Carbides can you put a really sharp edge on it. It will stay really sharp, but it's very brittle, so you can't touch steel with it or drop it on anything hard like concrete or stone or granite or anything like that. That's a 3/4 straight bit. See that? And it does that. a picture. We'll do it on the edge with a guide. And it doesn't have a bearing. It doesn't have a guide bearing. That's something you have to do with a guide or. Yes.
What other materials do they make out of, or do they use to make router bits other than carbide?
Well, they used to make them out of high-speed steel.
Oh,
That's it. So you get, so now they're all carbide tip. I don't think you can even buy a high-speed steel one, but also your better knives, router knives, bits, knives, same thing. Shaper knives, shaper bits are diamond. That's your really high end. They use like a diamond impregnation on the edge of the carbide and just super hard. You think it ends. It's just unbelievable, but they are brittle. So, okay, this guy's fired up. Here's to work. Routing, edge routing. This is not really, I didn't plan to give you guys an exercise in routing here, but in edge routing, you route with the material in front of you, the edge in front of you, from the left to the right. And that's the way it's based on the way your router turns. And then when you route the back of the board, you route from the right to the left. If you route from the right to the left, that's called a climb cut. And your router will try to get away from you. And you may want to climb cut on boards that have a tendency to splinter. So you do a little climb cut just to cut in to get away from that splinter, and then you go back and route them from left to right, like this. But I might take out. Nice clean bit, got a little bit of a burn there. It's taking it fairly deep. That thing's dropped fairly deep. I can adjust that thing so it does just the radius and no step whatsoever, or I can adjust that step as well. Or I can use my I can use my cordless router, which is also adjusted for a step, a little less radius. Now I got to remember how to turn this baby on. You know what? The battery really help. Having a battery is like unbelievable these things. And then power.
That wood smells good already.
What's that?
Smell the wood. Like a little burning.
You can smell, yeah, a little bit of burn. Let's just turn on. God, it's been so long since I've used it. What if the battery's not charged? At any rate, it's a soft start. If you see, sometimes now that is a clean. See how this is feathered? Yeah. That's the bit isn't as, that's done some routing. Bit is not as clean as this one. It's just clean as a whistle, almost no feathering whatsoever, really clean edge. This is a plunge router. This is not a plunge router. This is technically a laminate trimmer. Really, it's got a nice micro dial for the height of the cut. This is a plunge router, so you can set it to route, lock it in, and have it just be just like that router, right? Or you can have it be a plunge router, like I did. So you have no bit to worry about until you. And it's great for mortises. It's great for doing stepped routes because you can set this thing to drop in 3 levels. So let's say you have 3 different mortises. You're mortising the locks, the strikes, and the hinges and the latches on your door, and they're all slightly different depth mortises. Your hinges are pretty deep mortise, your latch is a little less deep, and your strike is maybe less deep than that. You can set up the depth right here with these stops, the depth of the plunge, by setting these guys, right? These are all adjustable, and you can dial in the depth of the cut from there too. So you, boom, you go there, you read that, you dial out to there, you turn it, you turn that. So see that? Then you get that step, then you turn that, and that step. So you can do a whole lot with the plunge router. This is a killer router. If I was tooling up right now, this is all I would buy for router. Until I needed something bigger, like something with a 1/2 inch shank, I'd get another router. This is a super versatile router, and it has a laminate trimmer base as well. So yeah, I couldn't resist this baby. It's really a nice router.
How much was it?
I don't remember. 2 or 3, 3 or 4. I just don't remember. Won't be hard for you to find out though, right? These days. So that's another thing. There's no more esoteric knowledge. There is no more esoteric knowledge. You know, who knows what esoteric means?
Means like something like only like a few people understand.
Yeah. Esoteric means secret. Literally, esoteric is secret knowledge. What's secret anymore? You find out how to build an atom bomb. You find out the secrets of the universe are at your fingertips, right on your phone. So really, what can't be known? There's almost nothing that can't be known. It's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole new world where, you know, any question that you have the ability to answer that question, to have that question answered. When I was growing up, if I wanted a question answered that my parents didn't know, or my teachers didn't know, or I didn't find in my textbook, then I went and visited the library. That's pretty much it. Where we had encyclopedias at home. At Safeway, you could buy a Funk and Wagnalls edition, 1 a week. They were $1, I think. I remember. And they were a little small, you know, at Safeway, 1 a week they came out with it, you know, A, B, and then C, D. Or A's and then B's. But now, I mean, do you think it's something that you can't know, that you can't find out? There's almost nothing that you can't find out. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse for ignorance anymore. Nobody can claim ignorance. You have a phone, right? And you're not ignorant. Exactly. So questions on routing? No, come on. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead.
Is it just for decorative purposes?
That's a really good question. No, it's not. So edge routing is pretty much decorative, except I have a laminate trimmer when I was a carpenter, and my buddy Jerry DeHogue, who's finished carpenter extraordinary. He's on my YouTube channel if you ever want to watch it. That door being hung in here. This guy got a great video of him doing a door hanging those doors. Matter of fact, one of those 2 doors there. But he keeps a small laminate trimmer like this one, only smaller, with a 1/8 inch round over bit in, set to just round over, not step, right? Just make a radius edge. Follow me? Just a radius edge. And so whenever he does doors, he uses that and he cleans up and puts a nice eased edge. Anything that's a square edge, he basically puts an eased edge on, which is what I used to do too. Because I don't particularly like square edges. They have a tendency to cut people. It's hard to keep paint on them. They splinter, they ding, they do all kinds of stuff. So eased edges, even if it's just a sandpaper block eased edge on a hard edge, but a router. So that is less decorative than just
Functional.
functional utilitarian. Either one works. But most edge routing is decorative. Now you can also use routers to cut. It's the cleanest cut you'll get, and you use a flush trimmer with a ball bearing and make a pattern, and so that your ball bearing, and you clamp your pattern to your work, and you jigsaw or bandsaw out it rough, clamp the pattern on, and then use a router to go around, and it rolls on your pattern, which is perfect. You've made it perfect, and it cuts what it rolls on. So down below is your work, and it cuts and trims, and you can't get a cleaner edge than a router. You can't get a cleaner edge.
Do they do that with drywall too, to get those rounded edges?
No, that's not done. That's not done. That's done with a beadex corner. It's got a metal corner, 3/4, 5/8. They make a big that bullnose corner that's got tape married to it. So that just goes onto your corner and stops mud goes on it, that creates your corner. So that's done something with something completely different, but bull noses and edge routing are decorative, but you can use routers to cut with, and that's not so much decorative, but you get a clean cut and spin out circles all day long, really clean circles. But it's for putting in clean grooves too, and cutting mortises. So all the hinge mortises, every single hinge mortise you've ever seen cut into a door and cut into a jamb is done with a router. And a router will pull a groove through a board. It'll pull a groove through on the edge, that's a rabbit. It'll pull a groove through it'll pull a groove through in the field. And these are done probably with a dado head, but a router could have just as easily done those. And probably a bit just exactly like this, a 3/4 straight bit, pulled with a guide for the router or a clamped guide to your router. It's keeping your router straight. Your router is, it's a handheld item. Now, router tables are really great things because that's a router in a fixed table upside down. It's basically just like that shaper over there, only which is a much bigger router. It takes shaper knives, which are basically router bits and bigger. A router upside down with a table so that you move your work across your knives versus moving. The thing about a router is you can take your router lots of places and you can do jams and things like that. So yeah, not just decorative, but yes, a lot of decorative stuff. I use it for lead-ins and mortises and things like that. Any other questions about the routers? Great tool. So we'll chamfer. We'll get this thing laid out and we'll look at our stock. And ideally, we'll chamfer the two bottom edges of the beam. We'll soften them up with a nice clean chamfer. We'll chamfer the beam ends. That's where I want to get a big chamfer bit. We could do it with a saw and just do a 45, a nice long bevel, but it's just harder to do a clean one. We might have to finish with this hand sander. If I get a nice big router bit, we could put a beautiful chamfer on that and not mess it up. And then we can lay out where our posts and our column caps we're going to hit and mark those on the beams, and we can chamfer and stop them before they get to there. And the same thing on the post. We can do all four sides of the post, stop it before it gets down to our column base, and stop it before it gets to the joint of the beam. And that's a cool look. And that's stopped because it winds up looking like this. Where you stop it, then you have a nice detail where it stops. And that's the square show through. And anyway, that'll kind of trick it out. So it'll look a lot more like a finished structure than just some rough thing that we threw up. It'll wear better. You won't have those edges that could possibly splinter, and it'll be soft. You have get a bunch of people working on there. You bump into a post, go like that into a post. You're going to get a nice, softened, chamfered edge, not a hard edge that could hurt you or splinter you or something like that. Okay. Any other questions? Questions. Okay. So I don't know what Jim's got in store for you guys with tests and stuff like that. I know that he wants you there tomorrow night, and if you can't make it, come on Zoom, and I'll see you. Not this Saturday. We have no labs happening Saturday. Come Tuesday, come prepared to make some sawdust. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Rodney. It is for sure.
Thank you, Rodney.
Sure, you guys.
What time should we get there on?
Brad.
We're not coming this Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not coming this Saturday.
Next Saturday?
No, a Saturday to be determined. So it won't be this Saturday, it'll be the following Saturday.
Okay.
It'll be another 9 o'clock. That's when we'll do that's when we'll erect our stuff.
Do we still have the field trip?
Yep, and keep asking me about that. I want to, I really want to.
I've stopped to ask.
Oh, Linda,